Hello people, Aman here. So this is our second part of the Python series. I know I am about like 2 weeks late, updating the series and uploading it. But if you want more information about that, just go check the update video. Before we start, I just wanted to let you guys know we crossed our 600 mark. We are going strong. We'll probably reach 1000 subscribers in at least 2 weeks. So if you are still not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that our Telegram channel, we are posting a lot of new stuff, and we finally have a discussion channel where we will be like, you can post your doubts, you can discuss about codes if you have some, you find some errors in the Python code, or if you have just questions in general about be it privacy or security, doesn't matter. If it's tech related, it is welcomed here in our channel. Okay, so moving on from that, the links will to all of this stuff will be in the description, so you can just join them. Let's just start with our Python. Okay, now last time we discussed about print statement, and but we didn't go much in deep about it. So in this kind of video, in this part, what we'll be doing is we will be talking about variables and strings as well as the print statement. Okay, now let's just start with the print statement. So last time we used our print statement to do this, to say hello, right? So when I run this program, I get hello. So what does that mean? So what just happens is the output, whatever is inside the print statement, that is our output, and that is what is shown to the user. So now if I change this hello to something else, I can just say hi, and then hi will be reflected here. You can see that. Now if I were to remove these single quotes, and if I were to do this, there's gonna be an error because they have no idea what hi means. Okay, Python doesn't know what does hi mean. So what usually happens is whenever you put a single quote or even double quotes, Python treats that value as a string. Now there are different data types. We'll be getting into that in some minutes. But string is a data type which is used to store text. Okay, any type of text, be it hi, be it hello, be it the entire works of Shakespeare, doesn't matter. Even the entire Constitution of India, all of that is text material. Okay, now even if I do this, even if I put some number like 111, and if I print this, it will still show up, but you'll be like, but single quotes are just used for text. Yes, that is correct, and this number is right now in the text format. So if I were to remove quotes from here, it will still print 111, but this time this 111, it is in integer format, or it is in number format. I know that's confusing. We'll get into that. So now let's just start with variables. So variables are just basically like a place where you can store your values. So what we can do is we can start with just naming a variable. Let's just make a variable named a, and we'll give the value, let's say 5. Okay, now the next variable we're gonna name it b, and we're gonna give it the value of, let's just say not 5, but let's just put 10. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is a very simple thing, and I probably think we did this in the previous video as well. If I write print a plus b and then print the statement, then we get 15. So right now the print statement without the single quotes, what it is doing is trying to figure out what is the value of a, and then it gets the value of a from line 1, does the same thing with b, it gets the value of b from line 2, and then it tries to print that. So it tries to add it together and then print it. We get 15. Now do you want to guess what happens when I put a single quote on both the sides and then run the program? We get the value a plus b. Like, we actually get the output a plus b. That means it is treating this as a string. So I could write anything in between. I couldn't even write a plus b equals whatever I want to write, and then print it out, and I will get the exact same thing in the output. So I hope this is now clear that anything inside this is gonna be treated as a string. Now we can do the same thing. Let's just say b is equal to single quotes, East Chudley is the best channel on YouTube. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to print a first. and then I'm gonna try to print B. Okay, let's just comment it out for now, and let's just see. So yeah, we tried to print A, and the value of A is 5. And oh, if you don't know, you can comment out some code. So when I put a hashtag in front of a line, that means this line number 4 will not be considered during, when the code is running. So when I remove this hashtag, then I let it run. So this is what happens. The value of A is 5. The value of B, we are printing B, remember. Okay, let me just do this to show the difference. So value of B is Studly is the best channel on YouTube. Subscribe. And the fifth line, the third print statement is printing B, but it is printing it as a string. So as you can see, we wrote print and then we put single quotes and the value of B gets printed. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Super easy stuff. Now let's just move on to different data types. So if you know in general, if you have taken maths in general, or if you ever had a maths textbook in the last 15 to 20 years of you growing up, you can see there are different types of numbers. So there are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, normal natural numbers. Then there are numbers like 1.2, 7, 6 point whatever, and then 3.141592 dot 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 dot, so on and so forth. These numbers, the first one, they are known as natural numbers. In Python, we refer to them as int. We refer to them as int type. Int just means integer. Okay. These numbers below, they are technically real numbers, or rational and irrational are kind of treated the same way. So we're just gonna call them real numbers. They are real numbers, and in Python, they are treated as floating, as a float point number. So that's what you call it. Int, floating digit or a float. There are other numbers as well. So like technically you can write complex numbers. I don't think I'm gonna introduce that. Moving on to other data types, there is true and there is false. These numbers are technically, it's just a binary logic, true or false. But the name for this is Boolean numbers. Okay, so whenever you see a true or false, that is Boolean logic, or that is Boolean data type. Okay, remember that. By the way, guys, this is kind of important, so pay attention. The fourth type, and in my, like if you think about it, it's like kind of the most important one as well, is you have to pay attention to all of that, right? Because different data types, they actually like integrate with the program all the time. And the fourth type that I'm gonna be talking about is, you already know about it, is the string. So whatever text I put in, it is the string data type. Okay, so if you were to check a data type like what is this, then it would show up as text. If you were to check true or false, it would show up as Boolean. If you were to check a number which has decimal points, it would show up as float, or probably a double. I should mention that people who have studied Java, you guys had used to have double. Also, you guys used to have short, big, and I guess long was one of them. But in Python we just have int. So Python can handle big numbers very well. Okay, so now let's just try to see. Let's just give different values. So let's say A equals 1, B equals 67.70, C equals the channel name, and then D equals true or false. Okay, now let's just try to print. Now we can directly print them. If I were to just print C and run, we get Studly, but that's not what we are interested at the point. What we can do is, if you write type, and if you so when you do when you write it like this, so you are writing a function named type, and then you pass an argument. Now an argument at this point would be, let's just type B. So what it does is, it puts the value of B inside type, and then type a function in Python. It checks whether that value is a int or a float or a list or all that stuff. And then whatever the answer is, it will just print it out. So I'm gonna run it, and it says class float. That means the data type is a float. Let's try checking for C. let's just print it out, and it says class str just means string. Okay, now let's just try for a. It will show up as int. Now I'm kind of worried about d because I don't remember, will it show it as boolean or something else? Oh, it does show up. It shows up as bool, which is just an abbreviation for boolean. So this is how the different types of data types. Wow, that is a mouthful. But there are more data types as well, which has to do with not just numbers, but with how different things in Python work. So the most famous one that you will come across while programming is gonna be a list. Now basically I'm not gonna give an intro to list in this this video, maybe in the next one. But lists are basically just a collection. It's just basically like a set, so you can throw together different values inside a list. So I'm just gonna write Studly, yes, very creative, I know, and maybe put a 4.5 in between. So this E, it's technically an array. People coming from Java, C, C++, you guys know what I'm talking about. People learning Python for the first time, it's just basically like a set. Okay, it's just a thing which stores multiple things. As you can see, these variables j just store one value, whereas a list, it stores a collection of values. Okay, think of it like that way. Now if we try to see what type is E, it will say a list. Okay, now let's try to print E itself, and let's just see. If you try to print E, you will get the exact same thing which you put inside it, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, these are the different data types. I wanted to go in depth about how lists work, but I am making the decision to do that in the next video. So stay tuned. Hopefully this video didn't go too long. I have no idea how long I've been speaking for, but if you understood all of this, make sure that you practice it yourself using the tools which are online, or you can download Python yourself. It is super easy, and maybe your homework for the today will be to just play around with different types of variables. And actually you can also try naming different variables. So we are just using a b c d, but in fact you can use literally anything. You can use it, you can call it YouTube, okay, but you cannot write print, because print is a reserved keyword and you cannot use that as a variable. Print one, sure, now that is okay, the error was not that one. Now print one is a proper variable name, but print, for some reason print, okay, this is not the variable that it is considering. Okay, you cannot start a variable name with another number. You have to use an alphabet to start with it. Also you cannot put a space in between, so you cannot make a variable name something like this. Don't do that. That's invalid syntax. You should put like maybe an underscore here, or just a normal hyphen. But yeah, also I don't think hyphen would work. I think hyphen is considered as a negative sign or something. Anyways, play around with this entire concept. You'll probably have fun. If you have any doubts regarding basic stuff, feel free to reach out to us in our Easterly discussions group. We will be more than happy to help you guys. And if you don't have a Telegram, that's completely fine. You can drop down in the comments. It just takes a really long time for me to reply to all of those comments. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you had fun.